Hey guys, so I know I said in my last video in the description, I don't know if you read that I would be making my next video about competitive trampolining as a joke because I keep talking about obscure sports, but different obscure sport. I'm going to talk about rock climbing. I'm not talking about like professional climbers or famous courses or famous anything that has to do with like the sport at large, just my personal experience rock climbing. So if that bores you, you can leave this video now. For those of you that don't know a lot about me, rock climbing is kind of one of the sports that I'm really into. Like I'm into like weird things just because I'm good at weird things. I like trampolining and I like rock climbing and I like, you know, things that don't require like balls and stuff because I'm not good at it. Like I'm a cheerleader, which is, although it's a mainstream sport, it's not necessarily always recognized as a sport. I believe it's a sport. We can that debate another time. But anyway, today was my first time going to the gym like completely not needing to do anything to be double checked, like because when you at our gym you can take a belay certification course which makes you ready to go and you can just climb on your own. You don't need anyone to help you. But for the several times after that, you have to get belay checked, which means that like you have to prove to them that you still remember everything and you can still do it and stuff, just so that they can make sure that you're not going to kill somebody on the course accidentally because you're not doing it safely, which is fine. It's not a big deal, but today was the first time that I did not have to do that. I went in, I asked for my day pass, I put on my own harness and shoes because I own my own harness and shoes now. Yeah, that was a really nice moment for me when my dad bought them for me. They were a reward for finishing APs, and the shoes are on loan until I get my AP scores back, and if they're not good, then I owe my dad like $75 for the shoes. But for now, they're my shoes, so yay. And, you know, and my sister and her friend came with us because it was their first time climbing. And I spent the entire time kind of like teaching them, giving them the basics, telling them, you know, you should do this, oh, do this, guiding them when they were on the courses and stuff. And I guess like people kind of noticed, like I was getting different looks from people, like sometimes the people who were like real climbers will like look at me and just be like, ugh. But I was getting, you know, no one seemed to have that kind of vibe, and the staff was even like, yeah, hey, cool, good lesson, or whatever, and because they were out on the floor teaching other new people. I'm starting to attempt like nines, which is a higher level than the easiest level of climbing. That's not necessarily difficult, but it's just, you know, if I nail this by the end of summer, I can get certified in lead belay classes, which is just like a bunch of exciting stuff for me, and I'm moving up and becoming a much stronger rock climber than I was last year when I started. And we brought with us a friend who had never climbed before. Well, she climbed a couple times, but she was finally getting like certified in belay and learning to like actually be a climber, not just like come and whatever, hang out on the rocks and leave. And so when she finished the class, a woman came up to me, the woman who was teaching the class, and said she's climbing with you guys now because she had been taking the class alone because she was with me and my friend who were both certified, and my two sister and her friend who are just hanging out on the rocks. They don't actually need to be certified or anything. But she comes up to me and she goes, this girl's going to climb with you now, right? And I was like, yeah, we got her, don't worry. And she's like, yeah, she's doing fine in the class, but just, you know, look at her, make sure she's doing okay. Just, you know, keep an eye on her. And I was like, yeah, not a problem. And that was awesome. I know it sounds like just like a superficial conversation, but for me it was like crossing the bridge to being a big kid at the gym. Like I'm not just like that goofy teenager who hangs out sometimes and climbs a bit. You know, like I'm becoming a climber. I'm a big kid. I belong there now. Not necessarily belong there. There's definitely tons of people who are infinitely better than me at the sport, but it's just, you know, you don't know. But I know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that this was like the first time that I've ever been recognized as being like, you know, someone who could be trusted to teach someone and make sure someone knows what they're doing. And I really liked that. That was a new sensation for me. And I learned that becoming a big kid is awesome.